So officially, welcome to Game Beyond the Game presents Talk That Talk, inspiring conversations with professional athletes where we inspire our audience as we explore finding vision and purpose in life and discuss tools to overcome life's transitions. I am Sam Pearson II, your MC, and obviously, as you just heard, but again, we are joined by founder Prince Daniels Jr. So I want officially, I've not yet asked, how are you doing, Prince? How are you feeling?
I'm great. I'm super great, and I'm ready for this interview, and I'm also ready for to continue to live life and be progressive. So, thank you.
Appreciate that big time. Now we're coming up on and presenting a special series, right? A series where it's going to be 4 parts, and you will impart some knowledge on. I'm going to call it giving people their proper tip. And so would you mind explaining what this 4-part series is going to be for those who are tuned in?
Right. Yeah. So most definitely. So decided to do a 4-part series because I feel that, Stan, you and I, we've been giving some valuable content to our listeners, and this is something that they can resonate with each and every day. A lot of the interviews that we have are like high value, and it's something that everyone can resonate with. And so we thought it would be really, really good if we also give you guys content on tips about life, about transition, because Game Beyond the Game is about transition and inspiration and also finding your purpose. And so while we're here talking that talk, we want to make sure that you understand that we want to give you some more valuable content by saying that there are 4 ways of overcoming self-doubt. So we want to share this with you, and we want you to actually take this information and apply it in your daily life. So that way, whenever you experience overcoming self-doubt, then you can pass it on to the next person.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And we're going to hop right into this. And for those watching and listening, understand that transition there are different levels to transition. And part of those levels is understanding that there can be self-doubt when transitions happen.
Right.
So the first thing we're going to discuss is, how to acknowledge or acknowledgement. So Prince, let's talk about that. What does acknowledgement mean when it comes to overcoming self-doubt?
Wow. So when you have self-doubt in yourself, it's you not believing in your ability to create an action or make something happen. And the first thing in overcoming self-doubt is acknowledging it. So when you acknowledge that you have self-doubt, then what you are saying is that I'm in a space where I'm doubting myself, and I need to correct that self-doubt. And I say this all the time. It's the quicker you can bring awareness to your self-doubt, the quicker you can stop doubting yourself. And that's so powerful because when self-doubt is present, we tend to forget about all of the things that we've accomplished. And whenever you can reflect on the things that you accomplish, it actually gives you and reminds you that you have the confidence to be able to start a new path to creating that doubt. I mean, that's creating that self-confidence within yourself.
Whoa. Thank you for sharing that piece. And folks, in understanding that sometimes you have to visit the root cause of the self-doubt, which again, as Prince talks about overcoming, and understanding what's happening within, is there may be some things that are rooted, that your doubt is rooted in, and we can't move forward as we'd like to without discovering and evaluating the root cause of self-doubt. So thank you very much. Now let's move to number 2. So that's acknowledgement. That's the first piece of overcoming self-doubt. And Prince, then you speak to assessment. Well, let's talk about it. What's assessment all about?
Your internal audit.
Internal audit. Okay.
Yes. Like, I don't even know what that means. No, do you know what that means, Stan? No.
Yeah. A lot of folks, if they've ever had to deal with accountants before, or IRS, they certainly know what, like, audits are like a deep dive into you.
Right.
And most folks, what's interesting, and I'll throw it back to you. What's interesting is when it comes to let's say number audits, and I don't even want to bring up the IRS. It's a bad word to some folks. Like people don't want to get audited. Why? Because in part, you go through line by line and
Right.
seeing what's right and what's wrong.
Hey.
In an internal audit, I think that's even more painful.
No, you're right. You're right. So when I talk about internal audit, I'm just telling you to figure out where you are right now in your life. Like you need to sit down with yourself and see where you are and see where your self-doubt is stemming from. Because it could be something from childhood. It could be something from actually that happened last week. And you never let go of that emotional attachment. And we have to be able to let that go so we can make clear decisions. Because if there's emotion that's present, it's hard for you to make a decision because your thought process is clouded with your emotions. And so when you can learn how to separate yourself from your emotions and see yourself in a situation that there's a problem to the situation and there's always a solution. So when you can see the solution, you can figure out how and where you can go to get yourself out of your own funk, should I say. So that internal audit is very important because you get a chance to go down the line and see what is working for you and what is not working for you.
Amazing. Thank you for expounding on that. And folks realize we are often ready to assess other people, places, and things, see what's wrong with them. But what if we were as enthusiastic to some degree about assessing ourselves? Because that's one thing that we are in control of. All right, cool. So we have acknowledgement, we have assessment, and now we move to supporting words and how we overcome self-doubt. So let's speak to that. Prince, talk to us about supporting words.
Okay. When it comes to mental health, it's very important to speak to yourself because if you don't speak to yourself, someone else will speak to you. And if they're not a loving person, if they are against you, they're not going to tell you anything that's positive. So the first person that has to tell you something positive is yourself. And so I speak about the supporting words, the affirmation, and the mantra. Find a word or words that you can repeat over and over again, which will give you momentum to be able to overcome your self-doubt. It builds a confidence within you. When you say these words, you're actually not just saying the words, but you're feeling the vibration. And that vibration is raising your vibratory level. So that way, whenever you feel that you have self-doubt, you remind yourself, I'm amazing. I'm incredible. I can do this. I've done this already. Have all the confidence in the world. And from that, your posture goes from being sheepish to actually being very erect and majestic and confident. And that's very important when it comes to supporting words and affirmations.
Oh, thank you. That's really powerful. And I know we've spoken about this before. You've certainly echoed this. Moving into this work, like let's say in saying those things to yourself, one of the first questions you may want to ask or that people may want to ask is like, am I willing? Right? Because in terms of knowing, if I know that, okay, I've acknowledged some things, I've assessed, I've done the self-assessment, the internal audit, okay, now these supporting words. It's like, are you willing to talk up yourself? Are you willing to be open to think positive things moving forward? So amazing point. Thank you very much, Prince. And then last but certainly not least, so we've went from acknowledgement to assessment to supporting words to live into it.
Yes.
Talk to us about living into it. What does that mean?
Living into it. I reference my book, the byline of my book, Mastering the Balance Between Power and Peace. When I say live into it, it's actually doing all the necessary things to make sure that you stay on that path to reach your goal, attain your goal, or reach a level of success, however you define it. And so mastering the balance between your power and peace, what that means is your power. Everyone is familiar with our power. So a lot of us are doers. So we want to go and do. And if we put one foot in front of the other, we have gained power because we've moved in a direction where we feel that it's allowing for us to become successful.
Yeah.
a lot of times when you're on that road of success, there's a lot of distractions. So you can go here, you can go there, you can go here, something to come externally into your life. And it's just like, oh, this is the perfect distraction. But actually, it's still a distraction. And so the peace is where you find peace within yourself. When you practice mindfulness and you practice meditation and you do these things to keep you focused and make sure that you're concentrated on the goal and how to get to the goal. So whenever you can understand how to master the balance between your power and peace, what you're doing is you're practicing your meditation, and that's how you find your peace. Also, you're focusing on that goal. You're keeping it in place. And then after that, the power is after you get up from your meditation, you should have the desire and the spirit to put it into action and work as if it has already became a part of your life. And when you can do that, your only thing that happens is your body is just a byproduct. So it merges with the projected thought or the projected desire that came from you to say that this is who I'm going to be. No more self-doubt in me. I have all the confidence in the world, and I can do whatever I put my mind to and my heart. So that is what it means. That is what I mean by when I say by live into it. Become what you say that you want to become. And that's how you overcome your self-doubt.
Oh, love it, man. This part one of this series has been powerful already. So, and just so we run it back for folks who are listening and certainly watching somewhere. So this is about, transitions, and there are different levels and stages of transition. But one of those levels and points is overcoming self-doubt. So right now, Prince has outlined and game plan and blueprinted, what it means to have these 4 pillars in order to overcome that self-doubt. And that's acknowledgement, assessment, supporting words, and living into it. Like that being said, any final thoughts or in closing and helping folks wrap this in a bow, Prince, anything you want to leave folks with?
Yes, you can use this for a lot of things in your life. I think it's parallel to just overcoming anything, imposter syndrome, overcoming a quick failure that you ran into in your life. If you use these techniques and tips that we've shared with you, I guarantee you will be able to overcome these things, because a lot of things in life are concentric, meaning they share the same meaning or the same center. And what you have to understand is that there's nothing that you can't do if you apply the tips and the exercises that are given to you, because application is actually the main thing that allows for you to see if it works. It helps you gain experience and you become more knowledgeable. And once you become more knowledgeable, we call that wisdom, or you become wise. And once you become wise, you can share your information with everyone else and watch them blossom and grow into the incredible human being that they are. So those are my parting words for you guys. Make sure that you acknowledge your problem, acknowledge where you are in your path of overcoming self-doubt. 2, your assessment or your internal audit. And 3, your supporting words, your affirmation, your mantra. And 4, make sure that you live into it and become what you say that you want to become.
Thank you a million times for getting us kicked off on this transition and how to overcome self-doubt. So it takes a little bit of homework for those of you all listening and watching. It means day by day executing these small pieces that can yield great benefits. So thank you very much, Prince, for that. Now, officially, I want to thank you all for joining us today and, just being a part of this journey, being a part of your own story and beginning to write the story that you'd like to live. So for those of you watching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube page at Game Beyond the Game. You can join us next week on Game Beyond the Game's Facebook page on every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you so very much for being here, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time for this 4-part series. This is just part 1. The next one, looking for, or that you can look forward to, is inspiration. We're giving more tips. Stay tuned, guys. Have a good one. Be inspired to be incredible, because that's what you are. Make sure that you use your in spirit to inspire others. All right. Thank you, man. Peace.